What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Aaron here. It is Friday the 1st of August and we are getting into it today, guys. We are speaking all things of Bitcoin, the market, Hyperliquid, BONK, Bankr, you name it. Stick with us today, guys, because we are getting into it and I'm really looking forward to today's show. Do you know why? Because it is Friday, guys. The weekend is nearly here. What are your plans this weekend? Let us know in the comments below. But look, I tell you what I'm planning this weekend. As you guys know, I am here in Bali and do you know what? It's been pretty much raining every single day this week. Today was a little bit better, but we still had a little bit of rain. Why? It's not even rainy season. So look, hopefully you have better weather wherever you are, and hopefully this weekend I can finally get a few drinks down me. But look at this, guys. Look at the market today. Look at the market. Another 8% dip here. Now this is like third consecutive day of dips, guys, in a row in a bull market. That's when my buy triggers start to come. Okay, guys, I'll be honest with you. Now, again, not going in with my full USDT bag, but a little bit here, a little bit there, just biting off 20% of the coins that I like to buy and the coins that I'm interested in. Now, let's actually have a look and see what exactly has happened in the market today. So 8% down of the entire CoinGecko here and the entire market cap. And you know what? It's funny because, you know, the actual report that came out from the White House was overall, you know, okay, they didn't exactly confirm that the strategic reserve is going to be buying directly Bitcoin, but they pretty much confirmed that the strategic reserve is going to happen and that they're building the infrastructure in order to do so. So, okay, in general, it wasn't the kind of Valhalla moment we were waiting for, but it was positive enough. So look, guys, this has nothing to do with that report, that's for sure. Actually, if we head over to Cointelegraph here, you know, they have an article here telling us a little bit more about, well, exactly what happened. So basically, pretty much as soon as that report came out, Trump came out once again with his tariffs. You remember that board, guys, where he came out with his tariffs 3 months ago? He's come again with his Eurovision figures again. And yeah, you know, he's basically hit a bunch of countries with a bunch of pretty harsh tariffs, including their next door neighbor, Canada. I think 35%. Tariff deal tax on Canada, which is pretty high tax, especially for a next door neighbor. As you can see here, so Trump imposes trade tariffs, and this has had an impact on the market. Okay, this has obviously created some sell-off in the stock market, guys, but it's not just that as well. We'll talk about that in a moment, but we'll stick with this for now. So South Africa, Switzerland, Taiwan, Thailand, which are all facing tariffs between 19% and 39%. Okay, so like pretty high tariffs, and that's kind of spooked the market. Okay, Trump's kind of changed his timeline in terms of when these are going to actually come into play, which is about a week or so now. And look, this has obviously had some level of impact in the market, but additionally, if you actually look at on-chain data, we've actually got a lot of these old school Bitcoin wallets still selling billions of dollars daily into the market, guys. And so, do you know what? Who can blame them? If they've held, let's say, where are we at, 2025? If they've held for what, 15 years or so, like they deserve billions of dollars, you know, because they are the definition of diamond hands, right? So look, they're selling into the market. Obviously, we've got this fear a little bit with the new tariffs that have come out. And then in addition to all of that, of course, luckily we have institutions, you know, buying the coins, and the price is not really going down too much, right? When it comes to Bitcoin, altcoins are still frustratingly losing their market caps, and it's going down further. But what I would say, guys, is this is a buying opportunity. As I said earlier, like this is definitely a buy zone for the tokens that you're interested in. In fact, I had a look earlier today at some of the tokens I'm interested in, and I'm talking like sub 100 million market cap, because those are the kind of tokens I like to buy. And some of them are actually getting close to all-time lows, okay? When you actually look at the setup of what's actually happening here, with the kind of bullishness, obviously, from the White House, and where we kind of are in the cycle, I'm very, very close to kind of filling my bags up, guys. Okay, so I'm probably going to do a little bit of shopping this weekend. You do with that what you will, guys, but I think, you know, that, yeah, dollar cost averaging in at this rate is a good idea. Now, if we actually head over to CoinGlass here, you can actually see in the last 24 hours, the total liquidations comes in at $755 million. So a pretty large amount got wrecked, guys. As you can see, 704 million, so pretty much the majority, well, nearly all of it, was by longs. Okay, so maybe those longs were out there thinking that the report would be more bullish and the market would react positively to that. But to be honest with you guys, I mean, the amount of sell the news events we've had since I got into crypto must be bordering on the hundreds of thousands by now. So they should have really expected that. But look, there you go, $704 million of longs gone, and obviously shorts gone. Obviously, that has then, you know, actually affected the market cap as well by lots and lots of liquidations. So basically, it's three things that have caused this kind of dump in the market, guys. Firstly, it is the trade tariffs that Donald Trump has put onto the other countries around the world, which are pretty hawkish, to be honest. And yeah, you know, that's obviously made a stock sell-off, which obviously now affects the crypto market as well. Additionally, we've got so many liquidations here, you know, nearly $756 million or so that has been wrecked. And then on top of all of that, of course, we've got the early Bitcoin buyers continuing to sell their bags, which has created some sell pressure on the market, guys. So in general, I think these are all short-term things, okay? We had some, you know, perma bulls that got wrecked. the tariffs, Trump is just obviously doing this tariff thing to like negotiate a good deal. That's what he does. And, in some ways, I have a lot of respect for him for actually going ahead with that and, basically doing the best for his country. If only the UK had something similar. And then in addition, obviously, it's the early buyers selling in, but there's a lot of institutional money, of course, basically sucking that up happily, whether it's through ETFs or, through buying for their own company treasuries for public listed companies. So look, guys, like I said, I'm not overly bearish by this. I think this is a buying opportunity. And let's actually get into some of the ecosystems that I'm looking at the moment. Okay, so let's start with Hyperliquid. Okay, because Hyperliquid is obviously been getting loads of attention recently. Insane volumes, guys. As you can see here, Hyperliquid volume shows no signs of slowing down, with open interest hitting $14.8 billion, up 335% year to date. So Blockwork Research is one of the best research data and governance insights, have given us a whole bunch of statistics here about the traction that the Hyperliquid ecosystem is actually getting right now. And of course, the perpetual futures here is one of the strongest suits of the whole Hyperliquid, protocol ecosystem. So with trading volumes now approaching $93 billion weekly. Let that sink in, $93 billion weekly. Wow. Wow. The fees they must be generating from that must be absolutely outstanding, guys. Bitcoin and ETH continue to dominate, accounting for 61% of the total volume. As you can see here, the sustained momentum has driven Hyperliquid's token holder value to an all-time high, reaching $27 million in the last week. And it's just all bullish. All these charts here, guys, it's just non-stop bullish news from Hyperliquid. And now, of course, they have Hyper EVM as well, which is their own layer 1 blockchain, which is also generating here approximately 150 grand a week in fees, guys. Okay. And of course, the TVL also in Hyper EVM has been growing and growing and growing. It says here protocols like Kinetic, Hyperliquid, Felix, and as I said yesterday's video, Pendle as well has dramatically seen the TVL in Hyper EVM grow as well. And the list goes on in terms of how the Hyperliquid and how the Hyper EVM ecosystem is really, really exploding, guys, and who's to bet against them. And you know what? If you remember, I mean, for those that were not around back in 2020 or so, every ecosystem needed like a major exchange to really kind of be that core centerpiece of the ecosystem that was just that liquidity hub, let's call it, okay, that everything flowed around. So Solana at the time had FTX, which was, one of, if not, it was basically just behind Binance in terms of, in terms of volume, in terms of credibility. Of course, Binance had Binance, BNB Chain had Binance, and almost every major L1 that really, really took off had a really, really solid exchange behind it. And I'm like, for that reason, for many reasons, but that's one of my reasons why I think Hyper EVM is coded, guys. And getting into ecosystem plays in Hyper EVM now, obviously a chain with so much TVL, so much liquidity on it, I think is going to pay dividends. So 100%, if you're going to do anything this weekend, guys, do some homework into Hyper EVM, okay? Look around, especially look at the DeFi plays. There's a lot of DeFi in there. And to be honest with you, you're not going to understand probably half, at least half of the stuff that you can do in that ecosystem, especially when it comes to DeFi. There's some pretty crazy projects out there that you do so much stuff with your funds. But I implore you to get into it this weekend. And if you have any questions, you don't understand it, just ask ChatGPT, okay? Because the more that you understand this new ecosystem, the earlier you get into it, of course, the higher rewards and potential gains there are for you. So let's move on to the next tab here. So as you can see, the Hyperliquid trading volumes, we're coming back to this again. They're not just big in their own right. They actually flipped Robinhood's trading volume. Okay, now Robinhood obviously is not a Web3 native exchange. Robinhood comes from the Web2 world that jumped into Web3, in which case their pool of potential users obviously much more bigger really than Hyperliquid's. But look at this, like Hood did 150, Hood, the native token of Robinhood, did 150 billion in June 25 from 192 billion in May. And Hype did 231 billion in June 25 from 256 billion in May 25. And basically the flippening is here for all to see, guys. Hype just outperforming Robinhood, which is insane, as Lamberland says here. It is absolutely insane. And if we actually look at DeFi Llama here, you can see once again the perp volume, and this is daily, guys. This is daily invert volume, okay? So like, what are we on? Yesterday, nearly $12 billion, and that's on a bearish day, okay? Like if we go back a few more days, a couple of weeks ago, 15th of June, $17.6 billion of perp volume is just incredible. All right, guys, you know that I've been farming pretty extensively on Black Hole, guys. I did a really cool video on Black Hole, all things you need to know to get up to speed on that, guys. So we'll drop that in the bio below if you haven't seen it already. But there is another DEX that I wanted to point out to you today, guys, because it's still early and it can still reap some really good rewards, I think, okay? And that is Project X here, okay? As it says, it's a first of its kind DEX on Hyper EVM. Now, they tweeted just a couple of days ago here that they actually hit a new all-time high, and of course a waifu. Who doesn't like a waifu?
Right! We're men! We are men!
but the TVL actually hit $50 million, guys. Okay, and if we actually head over here, it's a great opportunity, I think, to get in early, to get an airdrop from basically the second largest protocol on Hyper EVM in terms of fees that are being generated outside of Hyperliquid itself. Okay, so that's like the reason why this should have your attention if you're bullish on the ecosystem like I am. And as you can see here, the TVL's dipped a little bit slightly, just by a couple million or so, nothing to be concerned about. It's got really nice UI, guys, a really nice user interface. As you can see here, some cool NFT projects and such. It's really clean, like what I'm seeing. So basically, you just log in here with your wallet, and you get these points. Okay, so of course, by providing liquidity, you get points, and they basically accumulate your points, and you also get your points for swapping, and various other things on the platform, but mainly for providing liquidity. Okay, so that's why I'm focused on that. And you accumulate points, and eventually, of course, the expected outcome is that Project X will do an airdrop. And I think, of course, the Hyperliquid airdrop was actually, I think, the biggest ever airdrop. And people made lots and lots of money from that. And this is, potentially another massive airdrop over on the Hyperliquid ecosystem. So that's why I'm pointing it out to you guys. Now, for those of us that have been, basically deploying funds on Blackhole, some of these APRs are pretty similar, to be honest with you. Okay, so if we have a look here, we've got Hype USDT here at 230%. We've got Pump and Hype here at 626%, which is pretty big. Now, obviously, Pump's had a massive decline, and that would have really messed you up in terms of impermanent loss. But if you think that Pump's decline is close to basically improving, then maybe you might want to consider that pool. That's up to your risk appetite. But the one that I like here, I think, really is that this Sol and Hype. Okay, so Sol and Hype. I am obviously mega bullish on Sol. I mean, who isn't? And I'm also mega bullish on Hype. And I do expect their trajectories to both rise, almost, somewhat similar. I guess Hype has more upside because it's a lower market cap, but you know what I mean, guys? At 288% APR, I do think this is a potentially interesting pool for me. As you can see, there's many others here. You've got another one here, Hype USDT at 428%. I don't recommend getting into pools when the other side of it's a stable coin. Okay, I always recommend two bullish tokens that you expect both to go up, and as much as possible, try to match the market cap with them. Because of course, if one's a really low market cap and one's a really big market cap, and one of them moons massively, then that's just going to get you out of your range if you're doing concentrated liquidity, depending on how you're providing liquidity into the liquidity pool. Now, here for Project X, actually, you just head over here to deposit. Firstly, I just want to touch upon this because this was really cool. I actually want Blackhole to start doing this. So as you can see, you can actually see the APR over time, like how it's changed over 7 days, over 30 days. So you can see here that it's generally stayed pretty steady between the 175 and 288%. So it's always been a lot, like for APR here. And you can click on any pool and get this information. It also has the volume, of course, which is what you want to see. There's a 1.4 billion volume also in this pool. And in terms of TVL, 546k or so. So I just think it's a pretty neat trick. I haven't seen that on Blackhole, for example. And it's, again, really nice UI. So you head over to the deposit here. And of course, you can choose your range. Okay, so this is going back to concentrated liquidity. Obviously, the tighter that you have in terms of your price range, the more estimated APR that you can actually get. Now, of course, if the tokens actually go out that price range, you'll stop earning fees. But so long as you don't sell your LP position, you don't actually lose anything. If you wait, if you think that the tokens are going to become tighter again, you can just continue and then start earning rewards again from that area. Now, look, guys, this video is obviously a daily news update. We can speak about concentrated liquidity in a future video, but I do think that adding some liquidity into Project X can be profitable and can be good for you to get an airdrop. Now, look, guys, I do have a referral link, and the good thing about the referral link is that you actually earn 10% more on your rewards, and I get 10% more on mine. So we both equally win from that. So if you do want to support the channel, I'll put down below the Project X referral link, and why not? We both make money from it. If you don't want to use it, totally cool, but it would help the channel if you did. So I'd really appreciate if you guys do. Moving on from Project X is Coinbase. Okay, going from Hyperliquid to Coinbase, we are talking about Titan exchanges now of the industry. Okay, so this is just something that just came out. Coinbase says it's launching tokenized stocks prediction markets for the US users in the coming months. Now, why is this so big? It's because Coinbase is basically, it wants to be the everything app. Okay, you've probably seen that coming around on X over the last 24 hours or so. It's planning to expand its core trading app beyond crypto. Think about it a bit like in some Asian countries where they've got WeChat, which you can do pretty much everything in China, and various other apps around the world. Now, obviously, Coinbase is trying to do their own version of that. And as you can see here, they include tokenized real-world assets, stocks, derivatives, prediction markets, and early-stage token sales. Okay, so this new offering will roll out in the next few months, first to US users, followed by a gradual international rollout based on jurisdictional approvals. And so, look, why is this big news? Well, this is going to attract even more people into the Coinbase ecosystem, even more people into crypto. And, by bringing all these assets on chain, stocks, prediction markets, and many, many more, as it says here, they're building the foundation for a faster, more accessible, more global economy. Obviously, I think this is also really, really bullish, guys, for Coinbase projects that are built on Base in general, because they're getting that mad level of exposure to anybody that's interested in any of these things. There's people that are going to be using the Coinbase app that are not even that interested in crypto because it's become the everything app. So, it does expand the pie, okay? And this is good for all ecosystems because you can start off with the everything Coinbase app. And then, of course, once you get degen enough and start getting skin in the game, you then start learning about other ecosystems, and then you start bridging, and then you start providing concentrated liquidity on Black Hole or Project X, and then the world's your oyster. I'm only joking, guys, but you know what I mean here. So Coinbase announcements comes after a Securities and Exchange Commission introduced Project Crypto, an initiative to modernize securities rules and regulations to allow for crypto-based trading activity. So all institutions, all these major kind of government run departments are literally changing the rules, guys. Bending the rules to accommodate crypto. Unbelievable stuff. Now, 2 weeks ago, Coinbase unveiled the Base app. Now, it aims to make the West's answer to a WeChat-style super app. So that's already out there now. Now, I just checked my phone. If I actually look for Coinbase or Coinbase Wallet, they've replaced the Coinbase Wallet for Base app. And now loads of these different apps are getting seen by the masses. And we've seen that with some of the price action for some of the base tokens, some of the base projects, and also like the huge amount of onboarding that's happening right now. So massive news from Coinbase here. And actually, if we head over to Twitter here, so poet.base.eth is like a big KOL for the Base ecosystem, basically. And this was what earlier today. So basically, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, basically said that DEX integration is going live inside the Coinbase app next week. Again, why is this big news? As you can see what Poet's here is saying, millions of tokens, nobody has to wait for a listing anymore. I mean, anyone that's building on Base will now be basically available in the Coinbase app. They're going to get that instant exposure. Every Base project, instantly tradable, fully on-chain access for everyone. This is huge. This is huge for Base builders and beyond to begin with, but for the entire ecosystem as well. Having this DEX integration going live alongside this, everything app that they want to build is just, I mean, it's incredible. Like the supermassive black hole that they're creating and sucking everybody into is going to be massive, and it's going to, it's a perfect timing, like for the bull market, guys. It's perfect timing, and I think when you're thinking about where to invest your money in terms of ecosystem projects, Base has to be right at the top 1-2 of where you're looking to invest, guys. Now, the last few days, I've been seeing statistics. Solana's overtaken Base overtaken Solana in terms of new tokens being minted. Now, let's be honest, a lot of those new tokens are memes or like these social posts like we spoke about with Zora. But Base and Solana are head on head at the moment. Okay, like going at it, these guys, and it's huge. And like I said, there's still lots and lots and lots of undervalued tokens in the Base ecosystem that have potential 10-20x gains inside them. Now, one of the tokens that did really, really well is Bankr. Now, Bankr actually mooned to over $105 million, guys, over the just over the last couple of days. In fact, yesterday it mooned over $100 million, and that is massive. Now, I've been covering Bankr on my channel since it was around 25-30 million, so already done like a 4x from there when we were talking about it a couple of months ago, regularly, by the way. And now, look, obviously it's getting a pullback today, as most altcoins have done, especially smaller altcoins like this. Of course, they have the tendency to pull back further because they're a small market cap. It's easier for them to kind of lose and obviously gain percentage as well. But basically what happened with Bankr. So Bankr actually did get an official Coinbase listing, by the way, which really helped. Obviously with the market price here, you can see it's listed here on Coinbase. If we actually head over to the Bankr X account, just to remind you, if you weren't watching my channels a few months ago, no worries. Bankr is an AI-assisted crypto wallet on X and private terminal, as it says here. Now, they've actually been giving away 450 million Bankr if you're part of the Bankr Club. So the Bankr Club is like a $20 a month club. You have to buy a Bankr NFT, and then you can actually start earning rewards for posting and being part of the community and engaging and things like that. But basically, Bankr now has had an incredible rise. It's almost seen as infrastructure really for Base, because it's been fully integrated into the Coinbase Wallet app in terms of being able to launch tokens, being able to trade, etc., etc. So this is more like an infra play that's integrated into Coinbase's core, offerings. Basically, its core apps, its core ecosystems, and still even now, started at a $79 million market cap. Now actually looks cheap when you think of it that way. And yeah, look, I wanted to bring this back to your attention, guys, because, it's had an incredible run. And, whenever a project does like a 2-3x, you should always be thinking, oh, why? Like, what was it? Because you can learn from what that was. And obviously you can see projects that are going down that path and then in the future, and then obviously place your bets accordingly before that actually happens. Another good thing about Bankr, right, is that its tokenomics are purely revenue driven. Okay, so most tokenomics are speculative, let's be honest, but with Bankr, they're generating $3.3 million quarterly already. And that is obviously a huge amount. And I think, what's that like? I think it's around $80,000 or so a day, $69,000 daily revenue, guys. And so it's trading. It's a project that has real revenue. And this is like before it's still getting started. Okay. It's just got a Coinbase listing now. So basically Bankr Coin makes revenue from its swap fees, subscription fees for premium terminal access, the club membership fees that I told you about, and the multi-chain trading commissions. That's Ethereum, Base, Solana, and Polygon. Okay. And the fact that this is actually going to be integrated as core infrastructure obviously gives it a very, very, massive seal of approval in terms of, basically having institutional access and access to loads and loads and loads of traders and potential, new customers that will generate more and more fees. So I do think BankrBot has obviously, done very, very well, has just topped 100 million. I think in this bull market, Bankr Coin can continue to do well, and right now it's on sale. Not financial advice, guys. Just talking about. It's good to see a coin that we've spoken about previously on the channel do so well. Let's move on, guys, because I know I've been rambling a little bit on this video. So it is Friday, so bear with me, guys. I've just spilling you the alpha every single Friday. The first thing here I wanted to talk about is now moving on to this kind of meme mania. Okay, what do you think of BONK? When we say BONK, BONK has now over a $2 billion market cap. All right, guys. But did you know that this month BONK is burning $23 million of BONK? Did you know that BONK has around 950,000 holders right now? And did you know that BONK, when it gets to 1 million holders, is planning to burn 1 trillion tokens? And BONK, its launchpad, which has now taken over Pump Fund, is generating tons and tons and tons and tons of fees. In fact, $1.4 million in daily fees, okay, is how much BONK Fund is actually generating right now. And they have buybacks built in, deflationary tokenomics built in. It's really incredible how BONK have flipped the table on Pump Fund. And maybe I'll do a full video on this in the future, but just quickly, let's break it down. So BONK Fund went from 0 to 88% market dominance, whilst Pump Fund completely collapsed from 90% to just 17%, a complete market shift over just 6 months, okay? And like I said, it's generating $1 million in daily fees with 4 to 6 times higher revenues than Pump Fund, despite similar user bases. And, how they've managed to do that in the space of 6 months should be spoken about for years, should be written in a book, because Pump Fund was generating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions in revenue, but they were pure extractors from the industry, pure extractors. They were not piling it back in. They were simply taking it out and saying, see you later. And now they've been disrupted by Let's Bonk.Fund. So 50% of all fees from BONK Fund flow to the BONK token, okay? And obviously that gives sustainable buying pressure. And in addition to that, creators that are wondering where to launch next, well, they choose BONK Fund over Pump Fund now, because not only is BONK Fund got a lot more attention, there's a lot more hype, but also the creators get 10% permanent LP positions, okay, including claimable fees and cash rewards, which means that BONK Fund is basically a better place for creators to launch. Why would they bother to go back to Pump Fund? Pump Fund get full fee retention from the platform, and the creators get nothing. And at the end of the day, any platform, any business owner knows that you need to keep the customers in the building, because if somebody's giving them a better deal, they're just going to go somewhere else. And Pump Fund just extracted. And, it's a shame, really, to see that. It's a shame. But, BONK Fund, I guess, more Web3 native, guys, team, they see the opportunity. And I do think, BONK, sitting at around 2 billion, I think it was also market cap, is a meme coin that I'm interested in this bull market for sure. With the amount, again, the revenue generating projects are the projects you need to keep an eye on. Obviously, Hyperliquid being the king of that. I just spoke to you about Bankr. Now I'm talking to you about BONK, simply because the incredible statistics that's coming out of BONK.Fund, and they've basically completely overthrown Pump Fund and in a matter of months. I'm very, very bullish on BONK, of course, and it's been incredible to see this whole natural revolution of BONK taking over Pump Fund. So yeah, just a quick note on that. Now, sticking with the meme coins, we have Moonit, which has just come out as well. Now, Moonit is interesting because of its partners, really, and its new kind of model of launching meme coins. Now, stick with me, guys. Basically, as you can see here, the first AI protocol for automatically tokenizing internet culture and viral memes. So it was built with 9gag. Now, 9gag is like the OG meme, station, basically. Everyone goes to 9gag, finds their memes. And also, it's built with Memeland, okay? So basically, the guy that launched. Memeland is also the founder of 9gag, so that's the connection there. There's also some other partners here: MoonPay, DEX Screener, Jupiter, Meteor, big heavy hitters. Let's be honest, right? Now, how does this actually work? Well, I'll tell you how it actually works because we've got it up here. So millions visit 9gag daily to discover new memes. And then the most viral 9gag memes are automatically tokenized by AI and instantly tradable anywhere on Solana. So it's automatic, the AI automatically tokenizes it. Okay, so it's not like, usually you'd have a human that goes, oh, that's a good meme, I'm going to create a meme around it. Now it's just going to happen automatically. So when memes hit a 90K market cap, they graduate within Meteor LP, liquidity pool, and then the 9gag memes live on as part of internet and crypto culture with community CTO options built into DEX Screener. All right, guys, so it's an automated meme marketplace generally and launcher. And look, Solana itself has tweeted about it here, so this is a big deal. 9gag is one of the OG meme sites and a long-time home of internet culture with over 200 million users. It's true. So any viral meme from 9gag is automatically tokenized on Solana. So that's that's a pretty big deal, obviously, in terms of making Solana the home of meme coins with this partnership here with 9gag. And we've even seen Anatoly tweeting about it. Okay. So clearly there's a lot of excitement in the Solana ecosystem about this development, and it'll be interesting to see how some of these memes perform, especially these AI-generated memes, basically, that are launched completely automatically. So that's the news from the Solana ecosystem, guys. So heading back over to the platform here, you can see this is the moon.it basically page, and you can see here already there's been some memes that have graduated from 9gag. Now you can see actually in the contract address that they've got 9gag at the end of their contract address. So you'll know instantly by looking at the contract address where it's come from. And you can see some of these have already graduated here. And you can look at the trending memes and you can see actually what's going down. So look, if you're into memes, check it out. Oh, we don't want to see that one over there. Sorry, guys. It's not that late in a Friday yet. But no, look, guys, obviously meme coins still have a place in the industry. And look, check it out. I think it could be, there could be the next major meme coin, basically being AI launched here, and obviously it gives you the opportunity to actually get in early if you're basically keeping an eye on which tokens here are being launched automatically and trying to get ahead of the market before everybody else catches on. All right, guys, look, it's a longer video than normal today, so thank you for sticking with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that action-packed Alpha Friday daily update. Look, guys, I've really enjoyed doing the content this week. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, put that bell notification on, guys. I would really, really appreciate it. Most people that watch the channel and do not hit the subscribe button, so I would really appreciate it if you did hit the subscribe button. And if you do, then you know what? Buy a drink this weekend and say cheers while you're watching this video, guys, because that's what I'm about to do now. So hopefully the weather gets a little bit better for me this weekend. Look, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be back here on Monday explaining you all the alpha that came in the news over the weekend. And it's been fun, guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again back here on Monday.